This is Michael Dermer, and I am the author of The Lonely Entrepreneur. I hope you enjoyed today's perspective. Entrepreneurs all have our crazy stories. Here's one from The Lonely Entrepreneur.
So there's a great story about what became my first employee, this great guy, Randy Wakeford. Randy and I had gone to Bucknell together. And when you're a business student at Bucknell, you take this class called Management 101. MG 101, they used to call it. And in MG 101, you learn, basic organizational behavior, basic business concepts, and you actually run a business. You make a presentation to the university, they give you actual money, and you're graded on a lot of different things, but you're graded mostly on profit. And so you get together with your classmates, and we formed a company called Bison Ices. Bucknell's nickname was the Bison. And our idea was that we were going to have mobile Italian ices, right? Mounted on bicycles. So a couple of the, Bucknell's a great engineering school. So a couple of the engineering guys rigged these bicycles to have these basically freezers on them that could handle 3 vats of ice cream, of Italian ices rather. And so while most of these businesses were, t-shirts at fraternity parties and hot dogs, we basically had the ability to get you Italian ices anytime, anywhere. And so I was the CEO, and Randy was the director of operations. And, we would run this business, and there'd be an event like a lacrosse game, and we'd get a call back to headquarters, and they'd be like, holy shit, we're out of blueberries. Somebody pedal blueberry down here. And one of our guys would get on a bike and pedal his ass off down to the lacrosse game. And so it was me as the CEO, Randy as the director of operations. And I'll never forget, I think my tongue was blue that whole semester, because at the end of every night, these bins would come back with Italian ices that had that last 1 or 2 inches of, frozen and unfrozen Italian ices in the bottom. We used to eat it to the bottom every single night. And that's how Randy and I got to know each other. And we lost touch at Bucknell. We hadn't really stayed in the same kind of clique. And then years later, right after we had the idea for Incent One, I was working out in a gym in Hoboken, New Jersey. And I looked across and I noticed somebody that looked really familiar to me had a Bucknell sweatshirt on. Well, I went over to him and he turned around and it was Randy. And we started working out together, and Randy had worked for a publishing company, and they had asked him to kind of lead their efforts, their early efforts into the internet. This was the early 2000s. And I said, hey, Randy, listen, we come up with this idea. I was still working at my law firm as a corporate lawyer. And I said, I don't know if this is going to go anywhere, but there's no question the internet's going to be a part of it. Do you mind working on it with me a little bit? And so we used to go to the gym and work out and go out to dinner and sit around and brainstorm and write business plans. And long story short, Randy became my director of operations. So we started as CEO and director of operations of Bison Ices and became CEO and director of operations of Incent One. So you never know what goes around and comes around in the crazy world of entrepreneurism.
Join the Lonely Entrepreneur community and receive a free perspective of the day. Visit us at lonelyentrepreneur.com/subscribe. And remember, the difference between success and failure is your perspective.